Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we unpack the secrets hidden within company filings. And today we are diving into a report that might just be about extending the company's future, or perhaps just making magic happen with stock options. Get ready for an interesting look at SAB Biotherapeutics Incorporated and what they've been up to. We'll be focusing on their recent shareholder meeting where some pretty significant decisions were made about their stock and incentive plans. Alright, let's jump right into it. On the 26th of September 2025, SAB Biotherapeutics Incorporated, or SAB as they are commonly known, held a special meeting with their shareholders. The big news from this meeting revolves around two key approvals. First up, they got the green light to amend their 2021 Omnibus Equity Incentive Plan. Now, what does that mean in plain English? It basically means they are significantly increasing the number of company shares available to be given out to employees and executives as part of their compensation packages. Think of it as giving the company more currency, these shares, to attract and keep talented people. They almost doubling the total shares available, and they really boosted the evergreen portion, which allows for automatic increases each year. This is a pretty common move for growing companies, but the scale of the increase here is notable. Now, this is where things get really interesting because we see the actual voting results from that shareholder meeting. The report tells us that over 11 million shares were eligible to vote. Out of those, about 6 million shares were represented either in person or by proxy, which means they had enough votes to make decisions, showing a decent level of engagement from their investors. The first proposal that shareholders voted on was quite technical but important. It involved the potential issuance of more than 19.99% of the company's outstanding common stock. This could happen if their Series B convertible preferred stock is converted under certain conditions, specifically at a price that's below a certain minimum price, according to NASDAQ rules, and could even be seen as a change of control. The shareholders voted to approve this, with 5,502,026 votes in favour. This suggests that investors are comfortable with the company having the flexibility to manage its stock structure, even if it involves potentially dilutive events, likely seeing it as a necessary move for future financial engineering or strategic options. Then we get to the second proposal, which is directly tied to that equity incentive plan we mentioned earlier. Remember how they wanted to increase the shares available for employee compensation? Well, the shareholders overwhelmingly approved that. A whopping 5089862 votes were cast in favour of amending the plan to make more shares available. This is a clear signal from the investors that they support the company's strategy of using stock-based compensation to reward and retain its team, especially as it looks to grow. This document basically formalizes the company's ability to issue more stock options and other equity awards. From an investor's perspective, this can be a double-edged sword. On one hand, it is a tool to attract and keep talent, which is crucial for any company's success. On the other hand, if too many options are issued, it can dilute the value of existing shares, meaning each share represents a smaller piece of the company. The key is how effectively these incentives drive growth and profitability. Looking at the bigger picture, this filing from SAB Biotherapeutics Incorporated essentially gives the green light for future stock issuances tied to employee incentives and strategic financial moves. It shows the board and management are actively working to provide themselves with the tools they believe they need to navigate the company's growth journey. The approval of the Series B NASDAQ conversion proposal indicates a level of trust from shareholders in the management's ability to handle complex financial arrangements. Now, what does this all really mean for SAB Biotherapeutics? On the positive side, the approval of the expanded equity incentive plan shows a commitment to attracting and retaining talent, which is absolutely vital for a biotechnology company focused on innovation. Having the right people in place to drive research and development is key to their long-term success. The approval to move forward with the Series B preferred stock arrangements suggests a pragmatic approach to managing their capital structure and potentially unlocking future funding or strategic partnerships. It shows they are not afraid of complex financial maneuvers if they believe it serves the company's best interests. However, we must also consider potential risks. The increased availability of shares through the incentive plan, while good for employee motivation, could lead to significant dilution if not managed carefully. Shareholders will be watching closely to see how these new shares translate into tangible business growth and increased shareholder value, rather than just an expansion of the ownership pie without proportional gains. The specific details of the Series B conversion also indicate a situation that requires careful oversight from NASDAQ, meaning SAB has to tread a fine line to remain compliant with listing rules while pursuing its objectives. In conclusion, SAB Biotherapeutics is taking steps to equip itself with the financial and human capital resources it believes are necessary for its future. The shareholder approvals are clear indicators that the majority of voting shareholders are aligned with management's strategic direction for now. The long-term success will depend on how effectively they leverage these approved measures to achieve their business objectives, particularly in the highly competitive and capital-intensive biotechnology sector. What is your take on these stock-related moves by SAB Biotherapeutics? Do you think they're positioning the company for success or just setting up for future dilutions? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If this deep dive was helpful, please hit that like button and subscribe to Corporate Decoder for more of these unfiltered looks into company filings. And don't forget to join our Discord community, linked in the description, for more real-time discussions and insights. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next Decode.